We live in a twilight world, man. Let's do a quick recording. And I want to make this one real quick. I've got shit to do. I'm going to call this one Bridging Reality, in brackets the op era. And I mainly want to focus on, the symbology of a bridge. What a bridge is, what a bridge represents, and so on and so on. Hopefully you can hear me. It's raining at the moment, and that's why I'm doing a video, yeah? It's okay to spend time making a YouTube video when it's raining. But when it's good weather, when it's sunny, you've got no excuse to be on the black cube. Just to remind people, maybe people are new, like my whole goal is to encourage folks off the black cube, out of the black mirror reality and into the sunshine and spending time on the beach and getting outside and stuff. Just want to make that clear because I get so many people that try and, I don't know, they accuse me of being the very thing that I'm kind of rallying against. But anyway, I digress. So let's get back to it, yeah? Yeah, we're going to focus on bridges. And here I've got a little picture that represents theatre of the mind. And over here, theatre itself, theatre in the street. Fully immersive 4D theatre, illusion warfare. Being bridged to a theatre of the mind creating theatre on the street, and so on. That bridge, yeah? That bridge that connects these two realities and gives it a path to exist in, yeah? I mean, I guess a lot of what I talk about, and what I'm going to talk about today, illusion warfare, the double cross system, of course, chicken feed, which is what the double cross system uses, Q theory, which is what the real Q movement is about, and the fourth wall. These are all, I guess you could say, me trying to explain to people the ways in which they are bridging theatre of the mind with theatre in the streets, how they are creating the false reality. Back and forth, yeah, it can go either way, right? So, of course, bridges is on the topic this week because of the whole Baltimore bridge thing that's currently going on, which is, keeping everyone busy. And yeah, man, full disclaimer, I haven't looked too deeply into it. I know that it will be flooded with, symbols and names and things that are there to, keep you busy pecking, to fuel the whole, double cross system of it all. Yeah, man, there'll be chicken feed galore. Things like the name of the ship being Dali. I know there's like a 3 and a 3 here. All these little things that, yeah, man, are there to pull you down that rabbit hole, right? To make you feel like you're a detective solving a big crime. Yeah, man, in my opinion, stay away from that shit. Those days are over. The days of trying to decode things. And I think, synchromysticism is a bit of a trap, in my opinion. It's all there to keep you in the double cross system, yeah? Keep you busy. Looking at this bridge, it looks flimsy as fuck. I mean, I think we have to really kind of take seriously the idea that everything in the USA was built to come down quite rapidly. Yeah, because straight away, first thing that came to my mind was Iron Bridge over here in England. The world's first ever iron bridge. Symbol of the Industrial Revolution. Around 250 years old. I think a little bit less, 243, I think, years old. But it's still standing, it's solid, as opposed to this flimsy bit of, Meccano. That, it looks like a stiff breeze would blow this over, if I'm being honest. But yeah, man, a symbol of the first industrial revolution. Now, in my opinion, this is very symbolic of the fourth industrial revolution. And what I'm saying about the fourth industrial revolution is they want you online, sat in front of the black cube all day long. Yeah? Whether you're a fucking Instagrammer, a YouTuber, a podcaster, an OnlyFans girl, an online personal trainer, an online nutritionist, whatever. And even like the whole conspiracy theory side of it, the truther side of it, with the chicken feed and that's another part of it, yeah? That's the fourth industrial revolution. Sat in front of a black cube, spewing your energy and wasting your time. Yeah? Interesting, yeah, with the fourth industrial revolution, it's very clear at this current time, the fourth wall has come down. All right, I had to restart the recording because the rain was getting so heavy I couldn't really hear myself. So yeah, I was talking about the fourth industrial revolution in connection with the fourth wall. And I'm sure you guys know what the fourth wall is and what it refers to. Hang on, let me turn on my mouse. So the fourth wall is like this imaginary wall. For people that don't know what the fourth wall is, because you never know. Like I've always said, I want my stuff to be digestible to a 15-year-old, yeah? I want to influence the youth. So that's why I'm going to break things down as if no one's ever heard it. So the fourth wall is this imaginary wall that exists between the stage and the actors and the audience, yeah? The audience can look through the fourth wall, but the actors act as if the audience isn't there. That there's this wall and they are just performing their show in a real situation or whatever they're performing. You know, you get what I'm saying, yeah? This is the fourth wall. And then you hear terms like breaking the fourth wall, and you see that now and again in films where the actors will look directly at the audience and talk to them. This is called breaking the fourth wall. And yeah, man, sometimes it's done like in comedy and stuff like that. Yeah, man, like the fourth wall is an interesting concept because it's imaginary. Now, what I'm saying with our current version of reality and the fourth industrial revolution, the fourth wall is gone. You're in the play now. You're on the stage, whether you like it or not. The actors are walking amongst you and, yeah, you're in it. You're in Shakespeare's play right now, okay? And let's just think about it going down the line, okay? First we had reality, yeah? Then we had TV. That's when things started getting bad, right? When people started having a TV idiot box in their front room, our reality started to change, right? If you talk to old people that were young in a time when there wasn't the TV, they just had what they called the wireless, which is a radio. Man, these guys on a Friday night, they'd all go down to the local park. They'd all take a bottle of wine with them, in the cup as couples. Because back in those days, before the black cube entered the household, men and women had a great connection. The community had a great connection. Yeah? They'd go down to the park with a bottle of wine, a glass each, and they'd start having a good time with everyone else from the area that was down at the park. Someone would be playing music, they'd be dancing. Man, the connection was great. Anyway, like I said, the TV comes along. Idiot box enters the household. Things get bad, This Black Mirror, the early version of the Black Mirror, is now spewing false reality, thoughts and ideas into people's heads, yeah? The television, telling a vision. Later on down the line, around my era growing up, we had what we called reality TV. Things like Big Brother, Jersey Shore, The Only Way is Essex, or Housewives of Orange County. This kind of TV show that was meant to be based on reality, that was meant to be filmed from like a fly on the wall kind of perspective. People like living their real lives, and we're essentially the audience are like a CCTV camera watching it all. As the years went by, it was very obvious and people started to work out a lot of this so-called reality TV was nothing really reality about it. A lot of it was scripted. A lot of the so-called controversial events that happened were all orchestrated, they were all engineered, they were set up and pre-planned. It might have been like improvised in regards to what people were saying, but the situation was set up right. Scumbaggy things like people fucking in the Big Brother house, fights occurring in Jersey Shore. It was all set up. It wasn't really reality. But nevertheless, it still kind of went into people's minds. And now we find ourselves, the fourth industrial revolution, we got the opposite. We now got TV reality, where, like I said, people are walking around in the TV now. You're now living your Truman Show life. Everyone's got a fucking a camera on them, and everyone's trying to be the star of their own show. Actors are walking amongst us. You know, we're all kind of actors, and we can be actors depending on how we behave. You know, as Shakespeare, Francis Bacon said, the world is a stage. And here we are, all actors. But yeah, man, like, you know, you go to a gym now, someone's got a tripod set up with a camera. You know, you walk down the street, people are live streaming themselves walking down the street. A weird thing I've noticed is this thing where people are clutching the camera close to their chest. But it kind of looks like they're filming as well, right? It looks like they're holding it like a body cam. And they're kind of trying to discreetly film at the same time. But I can't really tell if they are filming or they're just clutching their camera like that because they're holding it like that. But I don't know. Yeah, man, you know, everyone's a YouTuber. Everyone's a TikToker. So on and so on. We are now in Truman Show. We are now in the TV reality. The fourth wall is broken. It's cracked. We are on the stage. So anyway, let's get back to what I was talking about. Bridges and all this kind of shit. What really more can I say about it? You know what I haven't spoke about for a long time is Q theory. And Q theory is very much connected to... These are all connected, right? Illusion warfare, double cross system, chicken feed, Q theory, the fourth wall. It's all connected, right? So with Q theory, which I'm saying was really what the Q movement was, it was all about... I'll keep this short, okay? So basically Disney, our good old friends Disney, when they set up Disney World, they basically invested a lot of money into research, psychological research, into queuing, the art of queuing. What I mean by that is queuing up for a ride, yeah, a theme park ride. And, you know, it's no secret that people do not like standing in a queue. They don't like standing in a queue. No one likes it. It makes them feel anxious. It makes them feel uneasy, right? So Disney got to work in investing in queue theory, the way to make queuing more enjoyable or to appease people while they're in the queue, right? And basically the way to do this is entertainment. In fact, let me move to a drawing board. Okay, let me try and draw a representation of Q theory. This might work, this might not work, I don't know. Let's say we're at a Disney theme park, and up here is the entrance to, I don't know, Space Mountain. We'll put SP there. We'll put entrance. Okay? If they just did one long queue at the theme park, people would look at this and go, fuck that. You know, and obviously just hundreds of people all just queuing up. You know, and you got to see how long the queue was. People would look at this and be like, nah, no way. You know, you just see this mile-long queue. It would just send everyone crazy. People would just turn up and go, fuck this. No chance. I'm not going to waste my time queuing here. This is ridiculous, all right? So what Disney done is obviously they put their teams in to work on this. So let's clear this again. Right. So the first thing they did, or the obvious thing they did, was stop people seeing how long the queue was. So they built a wall. Here's my wall. Here's the entrance to Space Mountain. The idea is that people couldn't see how long the queue was, okay? Yeah? And the first thing it would do, once you entered, the line would snake like this. Now, the reason for the snaking is so all throughout the queue, you don't know how long the queue is. And obviously what they do is they put up a wall, and then another wall, and so on, and another wall. So you can never really see how long the queue is. You can only see, you know, down your little section that you're in. So if you're at this part of the queue, right here, like this guy, he can only see a few people ahead of him. Yeah, and he's going to go around the corner, he can again only see a few people ahead of him. So they're deceiving you. They're not letting you see how long the queue is, okay? That's one of their little tricks. The other trick they would do is they would put clocks all along. That's a clock. Here's a clock. Here's a clock. Telling you how long you've got left in the queue. But here's the thing, they would always lie to you. They would tell you that your wait is actually longer than it is. Yeah, again, this is a kind of reverse psychology thing, okay? Because they want you, the person in the queue, thinking that they're doing really well. So they tell you that your wait is 40 minutes, and actually you're doing it in 30 minutes. You think you're winning. You think you're having a good day. You've now been tricked into thinking that you're having a win as you're going through the queue. So that's another one of their little tricks. Obviously, and you guys know, I'm sure most of you have been to a theme park, right? You know this. You know, they'll set up TV screens. This represents a TV screen. And there'll be little videos showing you something. Now, usually, like, for example, Space Mountain, the video will be like, I don't know, a captain or something, or an astronaut filling you in on what Space Mountain is about and all this kind of shit. Yeah, this is entertainment. They're entertaining you whilst you're in the queue. The other thing they do is, how can I represent this? I'm going to draw a star. They put puzzles all along the way. Little puzzle games. Yeah? So that you and your kids can play puzzles. It might just be a little like game on the wall. It might be something on the floor that you press. It might be like another screen that you play along. Yeah, these are puzzles. Like Rubik's Cubes to keep you busy, yeah? Or little quizzes about Space Mountain. So you might watch a video here. Later on, down the line, it will ask you a question, like a little quiz, a little pop quiz about the video you just watched. And you're playing this. You're kept entertained all throughout the queue. Yeah, these little tricks they use to keep you busy. Now, this is quite good, right? And, you know, Disney, just so people know, Disney are the masters of this. They have invested the most in queue theory. And I'm saying that that whole thing of queue theory is exactly what they used regarding the queue movement. Regarding Trump and all that in America. People were, metaphorically, standing in a queue, getting given puzzles. Puzzles about Epstein. Puzzles about Hillary Clinton. And the idea was that whilst you were on this line, you were kept entertained until the next voting year. Yeah? And in many ways, metaphorically speaking, you were kept in a snaking position, so you never saw so far ahead that you would know that you're wasting your time, right? Now, the difference is, at Space Mountain, at the end of it, you get to go on a roller coaster, Space Mountain. At the end of Q Theory, regarding the Donald Trump Q Theory, QAnon and all that, you weren't going anywhere. You were just looped back to the beginning again. You know what I'm saying? You're queuing, standing in a queue, going nowhere. Okay? So if we go back to his current bridge business, the reason I'm not looking at it, because yet again, it's all part of the Q theory. It's going to be full with puzzles, things like the dolly and the free on there and all that kind of business, and the Star Spangled Banner and all that kind of shit, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, man. You're now, if you're kind of decoding this, you're now in the queue. You're in the Disney queue, and you're just playing with a Rubik's Cube, being kept busy. What else can I really say about this? I mean, for me, it's a bit of a Nostradamus moment because let's watch a video, okay? Okay, just to preload people, I always talk about the double cross and its connection with Tenet. And as we saw, last weekend, we had the whole Moscow theatre thing, which is very similar to the opening scene of Tenet, right? Now, what's very strange was with this whole thing regarding the Baltimore Bridge, no one's making the connection with Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy and stuff. Now, I'm deliberately not really talking about it much because I don't want to feed the beast. What I noticed last weekend is once I put out there the whole Tenet thing, everyone was talking about it. And this time around, I don't really want to put it out there. I want to kind of keep this to our little group that knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Moving forward, I kind of want to keep Illusion Warfare and all this kind of stuff to a smaller, intimate audience. I don't want every Tom, Dick and Harry jumping on it because it just gets diluted and just becomes a mess. And although a lot of these folks copy my content, they don't really have the context behind it. They're doing it purely for a tweet, purely for likes and attention, for a little pat on the back to say, look how wonderful I am. They haven't really got the greater context of saying like what it relates to and stuff. So, then where should I start with this? So whenever it came to like 9/11, for example, I always said to people, I speculate how they did it was the Ghost Legion, who are very similar. When I talk about the Ghost Legion, the best kind of pop culture reference is the League of Shadows from the Dark Knight trilogy with Christopher Nolan. I said the Ghost Legion would have gone in and put explosives at all the key structural locations, right? Thermite explosives. In a few places, it would have took that out. And you've seen it. We've all seen the 9/11 videos. It's clearly explosives going off and dropping that whole building, right? And I would say to people, think of, and this is where the synchronicity comes in, I would always say to people, think of like a special forces commando unit whose job is to take out bridges. You know? Some of these special forces units claim to be able to put all the thermite explosives across the key points in a bridge within 30 minutes. They go up at all the key kind of weak points, put their thermite, done. Within 30 minutes, they've taken out an enemy bridge. So I would always say to people, think of that. Think of the League of Shadows from the Dark Knight trilogy. Think of a special forces unit putting thermite in the right places. There you go. Simple as that. We don't need to overcomplicate it with laser beams from outer space and all this kind of stuff that a lot of the truther community done. That's a big problem with the truther community is they overcomplicate things. So anyway, let's take a look at The Dark Knight Rises. Turn the sound on.
That's a lovely, lovely voice.
That your flag was still there. Who cedars that star-spangled banner yet wave? O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Let the games begin.
So yeah, there you go. As you saw at the end there, all the bridges blowing up. We live in a twilight. That was my original recording.
Oh,
Hang
man,
on.
let's do it.
So yeah, how do I slow this down? So yeah, I mean, look. I mean, if you want to get really weird about it, I actually look like Tom Hardy version of Bane. But anyway, if I was to put on the Bane mask, I'd look like Tom Hardy playing Bane. But anyway, that's kind of a personal one. It doesn't really mean anything. But, you know, he's singing the song, The Star Spangled Banner. As we all know, that bridge in Baltimore was named after the guy that wrote that song. I'm speeding through here. So the whole thing about the Dark Knight trilogy and the League of Shadows is that they have started the process of demolishing Gotham years ago. And the whole thing is that they've been running the concrete industry, and they've already been putting in their explosives in the concrete. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, we really do have to kind of look at the USA and all of its structures, and we have to kind of question like whether how many of them are like set up deliberately to be taken down at a certain date. We all know the USA is a country built on British Freemasonry. The Freemasons of Britain built the USA. That's why, you know, the capital, Washington, D.C., is on a Masonic, you know, square and compass symbol and all that kind of business. You know, I know Americans don't like hearing this, but they never really gained independence. That was all a massive deception campaign. And yeah, they've always been like, what's happened, like, is that Britain have put the USA as like the flagship, the decoy front man of the empire, right? So, you know, with what's going on with in America right now, to me, it seems very similar to what the League of Shadows were doing to Gotham in the Dark Knight trilogy. And I'm not going to get into it now, but I've spoken about this a lot. This is why it's kind of a bit of a on-the-nose moment for me, a bit of a Nostradamus moment for me again, regarding shit I've been talking about kind of coming into manifestation. I mean, I think what I'm going to do when I get time is I'm going to look at that Nostradamus character and try and get hold of his book, Le Prophéties, obviously an English version, and see what that guy's been saying and whether he is a bit of a misdirect operation as well. Anyway, let's fast forward this video. So yeah, the League of Shadows had already got hold of Gotham's concrete industry, and they'd already put the explosives in there years ago, and they were waiting for this moment to make their move. And there you have the 322. I think it was said that the bridge in Baltimore was made on the 23rd, or was open to the public on the 23rd of March. The thing in Russia, the Moscow massacre business, that tenant moment, was 322, right? I don't know, I can't really remember, so I'm not going to speak too much on that. Like I said, I haven't really been looking at these things, and I only really touch upon them and just move past them. But yeah, as you can see, the bridges start blowing up. And there we have it, you know. Bridges, man, bridges. So what else can I really talk about? I guess that's it, really. I know today, like I've been pointing out on things like Twitter and stuff, that, you know, this whole Baltimore business is loaded with things to keep you, to pull you into that artificial rabbit hole. I know it offends a lot of people. I know it rubs people up the wrong way. But we really have to kind of like be honest with ourselves now about where we're at. And, you know, the double cross system have been around since World War II, probably a lot longer, if I'm going to be honest. And we have to be honest with ourselves, yeah, that the whole conspiracy movement is being given to us freely. You know, we're not really detectives solving crimes if we're letting the criminals themselves give us the fingerprints and the dust prints and, you know, the smoking gun, right? That's not really detective work, is it? You know, because essentially what people done is they've looked at all of this stuff, all of the name stuff, and they've just merely typed it into Google, and then whatever's come back, they've then now rushed to the internet in an online crusade as if to say, wow, look, I've solved a great mystery. You know, Dali is also an artist that done a picture about a bridge being broken, and so-and-so was on the boat, and so-and-so was dry. You know, you can't really, you know, you're not really breaking free from reality if you're letting everything like that come at you from the same black mirror. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, I think I've spoken long enough on this video. We live in a twilight world. There are no friends at dusk.